Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chat19, a podcasty style thingamajig featuring the players you love from Nat19. Here we'll be delving into some of your most burning questions you submitted using the questionnaire form in this video's description, as well as on our Twitch page. I am your host, Chase, also known as Coffin Jockey, and I am joined today by some lovely people. How about you introduce yourselves, as well as a little bit about your character, starting with internet famous Brad Bredesen.
Hi, I'm internet famous Brad Bredesen, also known as Braden Alexander, and I am the player of Fenris Celebron, our local time cleric.
Woo!
Woo!
Delightful. Stew Master General Fenris. So excited. When's Hanzo gonna get that stew, Fenris? We're never gonna find out.
I've been stuck in the worst place ever.
Is it gonna be Hardy? He asks for Hardy, Fenris.
Listen, the amount of trauma that she's gotten in Honokuni, that's gonna be some hearty stew.
I'm excited. It'll be a
with
good time.
With a side of I miss my girlfriend pie. I don't know.
We gotta fully roleplay out that stew interaction when it comes.
Listen, stew interactions matter, Chase. We had a great stew interaction recently.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited to ask about it once we introduce Izzy.
Oh, hello. I'm Izzy. Also known as Yamato SFX. I do like a bridgy stuff on something witty. And yeah, I play Flux, the Warforged Artificer.
Beep boop.
Exciting. What a boy. What a beautiful boy.
Lies and slander.
Oh. And since we're here with the boys, crack it open a cold one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
hold on.
I have.
Let me crack open my Starbucks.
The most crackable thing. Oh, delightful. Well, I have a bunch of questions submitted by all sorts of different peeps, including a bunch of your fellow players on Nat19.
Oh, snap.
So we got a couple of them. Let's start off with this one for Flux. Dear Flux, my robo bro, how's that newly acquired anxiety doing?
Oh, that's a whole tie. That's definitely a thing. I don't think he was fully prepared to grapple with.
This is a monkey's paw wish, if ever I've heard one. I want nothing more than to find the emotions that I know I have deep down.
It's like, oh, these are emotions? Oh, I thought it would just be happy, fun times and like seeing beauty in like a field of grass or some shit like that. But no, this is just pain. This is just awful and painful.
It's the downside of learning about emotions.
Yeah, so a bit of emotional overload there. Yeah. Slowly figuring things out, for better or for worse. But yeah, for sure, kind of a monkey's paw situation.
I get that. Speaking of madness, additional Flux question. Dear Flux, you're getting affected by a lot of madness. Do you think there's going to be any complications after you leave this place? Any wires going to be crossed?
Oh, that'd be great. I hope so. Can I put that on my birthday list, Logan? Logan, you listening?
Izzy has been an instigator for all of this madness that's been going on. Everyone else is like, man, I hope I don't lose my character today. Izzy's like, ooh, layer it on.
Yo, because madness is like an improv game. It's like, all right, so now you believe you are a giant blue man who runs a hot spring in like a previous life. Go. It's like
Izzy he's collecting them like Pokemon cards. I rolled a Nat 1 at the start. I was done. This kid's been playing the whole time.
It's so much fun. You get to do like weird shit, like roleplay wise, without like it really being like a permanent like commitment.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at like how we both have been interacting with the madness that Logan has us rolling, we're having fun in two very different ways.
For sure, very different approaches to this.
Well, your approach might be different if you were having the madness that Fenris had too. So
for sure, yeah, I would be having a much worse time if I thought I was being chased by some unknown assassin at all times.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Final follow-up about the madness. Dear Flux, you go cuckoo a whole lot. Dice rolls aside, do you think Flux just has some intergalactic madness susceptibility?
I mean, like, mathematically, he just happens to have a really low wisdom score, which works out great for me.
Awful.
Super happy about that. But, like, in character, it also kind of makes some sense. Like, he's so, like, naive in a lot of ways that, like, I think he would be incredibly susceptible to mind control and things like that.
It's very true. And on top of the fact that he's so old as, like, a construct, but Flux himself is, I would use air quotes, young. I feel like you're willing to accept a lot is like, oh, yeah, this must be me, like, after being awake for some time, unlocking some of those things from my past.
Right? Like, he's only, like, his mind has only been active for, like, maybe 7 years or something. So, like, he's got the experiences of, like, a kindergartner. He hasn't figured out a lot. Like, he knows a lot, like, from, like, reading textbooks, essentially. But he hasn't experienced, like, nearly as much as the rest of the party, like, personally.
Very freshly factory reset.
He's just a baby.
Just a baby.
Oh. Good segue out of and into madness stuff for both of you. Dear Fenris and Flux, you guys are the craziest pair of peeps. Literally. How has dealing with the madness been for both of you guys? Both in and out of character.
Ooh.
Kind of went over a little bit of that already myself.
Yeah.
What about you? What about you, Brett?
I mean, it's been a lot of fun. I get a kick out of being melodramatic and kind of leaning into whatever Logan's implying. And so, like, trying to figure it out without, like, from Fenris's point of view, because Fenris is kind of freaking out about the whole thing, which, you know, tracks. It's kind of fun seeing, because I would say this is a genuine fear that she never realized she had until Honokuni, of being hunted down by someone who is so good at what they do, and, you know, her friends questioning her input and her role in the group being compromised has been really fun, and kind of showing, like, some of the aggression that comes with that, some of the unraveling has been very fun.
Yeah, just puts you on such, like, unsteady footing. Like, you're questioning everything around you, like you have no stability. It's like, I thought that I could count on this always being true, but, like, what if it's not? What if that's just been madness, and
Especially
I think that
with,
I've always
like,
thought this.
Especially with the fact she gets visions all the time already. It helped me. My approach with it at first was to accept it as any vision that Fenris would. And then as time has gone on, I would say for the most part, Fenris is a very cerebral character. Like, I think about things a lot before I do them.
Yeah.
For the most part. And so her being melted down to just the compulsiveness has been getting me to make choices I wouldn't usually make.
That is a good time.
Because I worry a lot as a player.
Get that. The anxiety is real.
I mean, also the setting is very applicable for worrying. It's very
For
worrisome
sure.
setting.
Everything is designed to be awful all the time.
Another element of Fenris's madness specifically. Dear Fenny Fenny Bobeni. So, turns chair like Captain America. Goodbye. Hello again. Dear Fenny Fenny Bobeni. So, turns chair like Captain America. You've tried to contact your gods. However, all you got back was cryptic nonsense about how you're sane from something you weren't sure was actually your god. Do you believe that you're sane? Or are you worried that you're not? Who could have been the mysteriously possibly not your god?
Okay, if anyone was going to intercept this message, as far as we're concerned, the young lord is the only person who can. So I think it's the young lord messing with our plans a little bit, or, you know, possibly fiddling about. Fenris honestly has no clue at this point. And it's this interesting, like, she doesn't want to be crazy, but because she was accused of being crazy by Aviana, and there's a whole stigma, she almost wants there to be a concrete answer of like, oh yes, you're nuts. Here, let's cure you. Let's move on. And because it wasn't, like, the answer she got was positive, but not, she couldn't confirm it was from her gods, really frustrated her because she thought that was going to be the 100% answer.
I get that. That is fully fair. Heck, in other things you're dealing with at the moment, with some questionable identity stuff from Fenris. Dear Fenris, what do you think of the theory that this assassin is you from the future, since it seems to have time magic?
Me and Hayden have been theorizing this from the beginning. The moment that there was, like, evidence of time magic by the bust of Revissimo, we were like, oh man, what if this is future or past Fenris or something wild like that? I think Fenris just sees the person as a threat. That's not something that's occurred to me in character yet. I think that Fenris probably thinks it's another Shatterkai that was separated from when the world went to shit, basically. Because her parents, I know, were going to do, like, they were going somewhere, and that's when they disappeared. And Fenris, in a vision with the Esper, God, it's been so long, saw her parents and a bunch of other people feeding, like, this crystal creature. And so there are people who are like, oh my god, what if it's your mom? Or something like that. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure, Fenris is pretty sure it can't be anyone related to her. But I don't know. For all I know, this is just something that Fenris has made up in her head. It could even be, like, what she fears of herself. Who knows?
Yeah, that is absolutely a possibility with Honokuni.
Because when we were with you, we were talking when Hanzo and Fenris met. Shatterkai or Shadow Fae are supposed to be like the assassins. So that's the image that has been following Fenris around, is the stereotypical idea for a Shatterkai. And so I 100% would buy. Logan could tell me anything right now and I would believe it. Like, honestly.
I mean, also just from like my perspective as well, considering what's currently kind of understood about Honokuni is it seems to be drawing in people from anywhere and any when, generally.
Yeah.
So if it was gonna hit a Shatterkai, statistically, it would hit a pretty average assassin-y Shatterkai who, you know, back when Shatterkai were around and available and present, their reputation was somewhat founded as far as at least Hanzo knew. So if it was gonna hit a Shatterkai, it'd probably be one of those. And then just, like, imagine you're this elite assassin going around doing elite assassin shit at the behest of some lord, and then suddenly that lord is no longer around, and you're stuck in the plane of suck for basically all eternity, and then suddenly...
I don't like Honokuni being referred to as the plane of suck. Let's anything but that.
Okay, that's fair.
The other theory I've had, and this is, like, wild, but I'm like, it's a Nat1, so it could be something terrible. I don't think Logan would do this, but my #1 theory is that it's Fenris from the future. Somehow. Or, like, some other dimension or multiverse. She's been plucked from it, and because she ends up in Honokuni eventually, she'll end up returning as, like, a curse thing. Like, eventually you do have to come back. But I don't think it's that.
Cool.
That's me having an instilled fear.
Well, I guess we'll find out one day.
Or we'll never find out. That's another thing that's been hung over my head. If we leave and it's like, yeah, what was that? Who fucking knows?
Oh, that'd be so unsatisfying.
That sure was wild. Anyway, moving on. That's
No,
that's
Dad.
not
can't
right.
leave yet. We have to know.
Last consecutive Fenris question I got here.
Oh my goodness.
Dear Fenris, do you think that when you save the monk, you'll be able to taste again, or is that too much hope for this place?
Oh god. I mean, as much as Fenris misses tasting things, she doesn't really think of that too hard like Nemrick does.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool if we could taste again. I don't think that will be possible. Because I think it just is, the monk's deal is going to alleviate madness. I don't think it's going to affect taste or anything else. I think that is too much to hope for, just because that would be such an emotional give me. But maybe. Yeah. I just really want the scroll so that we can release the people. And release the people who made the scroll. Because one of them escaped, and then the monk needs to escape as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could I get the complete backstory on the monk? Because I don't know what that is.
So we went... Sorry, Izzy, do you want to explain it?
Oh, fuck. Shit.
A resounding yes.
So there's a monk.
Sounds
in a
right.
temple.
Yes.
All right, you're getting a little far-fetched.
In a well. They're
Okay.
There we go.
And in this well is like a magical demi-plane within this demi-plane of dread that is like technically outside of it, but also, you know, like enveloped by it. So there's
It's
like,
like a little pocket. It's like
yeah,
a little
little
pocket.
pocket. We can taste in there, which is cool.
Very
Okay.
good.
And
We had
apparently he was guarding the scroll that would release the souls of like those who have died in Honokuni instead of just trapping them in this endless cycle of rebirth.
Okay.
And yeah, but then, you know, a big dog boy came and stole it. So he's like saying, go get that, bring back the scroll, and you know, he'll release us from the madness of this place. So I personally
Yes.
don't think it's a good deal.
Yeah, you gotta get it to, you know, you gotta keep that madness.
Yeah, he wants to ruin our fun. Is
Yeah.
what I'm getting. from this.
Okay.
That sounds right to me, personally.
I think we'll find out how strong that is, if it'll alleviate us from the madness we already have, or if it's just going to alleviate us making checks going forward.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Yeah, because
I think
certainly,
it'll be the
certainly we
latter.
won't have to roll for anything anymore. Certainly, but
Mm,
yeah.
Different things.
But yeah, I
Yeah, it
guess
might
we,
just clear out what you currently have, and then, you know, empty those slots out to refill them with new stuff.
Uh-huh.
if it was only getting rid of our current madness, that would not be worth the shit to go through to get the scroll.
Well, you never know. The thing that would be wild to me is when the madness ends, Logan describes something that was revealed way before Honokuni you are no longer, like, in belief of. Like, forever. Like the Gundam vision that Flux got, it's like, yeah, you realize that was fake.
No. No!
That
I
would
don't
be.
want to live in this world anymore.
I think I would be fine with that, because that means Diane can't have it either.
I mean, sure, in character, that's excellent, but no!
We want a Gundam. Logan lorded it in front of us. We need to get there at some point.
I mean, it's crazy to think a Gundam would be in D&D. You guys must have failed a wisdom check somewhere along the line.
Surely.
No, don't take this from us. We're gonna get the Gundam. We're gonna escape Halloween Town, and we're gonna go into the mountains and the cauldron and get the Gundam. It's gonna be great.
I need to live my Gurren Lagann fantasy with Fenris.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Understandable. Next question I have is for both of you. Dear Fenris and Flux, Honokuni is a pretty dark and spooky place. So here's a nice beat-up thought to dwell on. What are some team moves you two think would be fun, and with whom? Things like Fox Yeet, Haste Monkey, and Large Quintus being some classic examples, but with these new party members, the room for team attacks is pretty open now. Do you have any you cooking up?
Ooh.
I have a favorite.
Oh yeah?
I like when I haste myself and someone puts holy weapon on me. It's a good time.
Yeah, when we just
It's like getting the
boosted
hammer
that
in
thing.
Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no matter what, it's gonna be pretty brutal, whatever comes next.
I mean, fair.
Just the entire group putting everything we have into making one person as strong as possible.
Yes. It is really grand. We've done that a couple times.
Yeah, like right
I know-
before you took out Revissimo.
Yes, and then, I mean, with tag, I think it was you and I were playing a game of like, poor tag was just getting knocked down over and over again, and Fenris and Flux were just tagging in on casting healing spells on him. And so
God,
it would
I
be
got
like
so
he would
mad.
get up, and then the villain would take their lair action to bonk him. He'd be down, one of us would heal him, he'd attack, then get bonked again.
Yeah, that fight got real bad.
It was awful, and then I'd go down, and so Flux would get me up, I'd heal tag, I'd get bonked down, then I would get back up, and Flux would be down. Like, I think those are the funny ones, because I just imagine Fenris and Flux just scrambling.
You also gotta like think about like the time scale of this. So like we're like going down and getting back up in the span of like just like 30 seconds.
It's just very much
How
that, I'm
fast
alive,
that
I'm
would
dead
work.
again. I'm alive again.
Oh my
Shot
goodness.
and I missed.
Oh
So
man, because I've got multitask caster, if that Revissimo fight had gone for like one more round, I could have hasted you and then also enlarged you for the hell of it.
Oh.
I think I was hasted. Because I think it was haste and hold. No, I was warding bonded. Warding bond is also quite delicious. Doing warding bond with like tag or someone else, that's always a good combo.
Yeah, I hasted you right before you killed Revissimo.
It's true.
Yeah. Are there any other like tag team moves that could be pretty cool?
I mean, haste is
Oh
very
my
much like
gosh.
a basis of like a lot of big buffs.
I need Aviana and Wrench dive bombing someone. I need it so bad. I need Aviana to hold Wrench, fly over someone, and drop him on them. That would just chef's kiss.
God, there's no like gameplay basis for it, but it's a thing we briefly joked about last game, and I would love to see it. It's just like Flux opening up and just becoming armor for somebody.
That would be really funny. Heckin, do you guys have a bag of holding?
Yeah, we have at least one. Do we have like two at this
Okay.
point?
I think Vogan had one,
Right. Okay.
and
so
Aviana
yeah.
has one. So Vogan has half of our stuff. I guess
Yeah.
we never addressed that. Oh
Yeah.
well.
That's a bit of a thing, yeah. I had one thought for a team attack that I then realized you could try something out in the game, in like a metagame kind of thing. Which was in the same energy of like dropping Wrench on somebody, putting Wrench inside of a bag of holding mid-combat, and then putting the bag over somebody's head, and then Wrench just goes ham on just their head inside the bag of holding. And then the other one was, if you put your head in the bag of holding, could you try to eat food and taste it? Because it's in another plane of existence, kind of.
The Logan in my head says no.
Right. I mean,
Here's-
you wouldn't
here's my
receive any
thought on
mechanical
that,
benefits
actually.
from flavor, but yeah, go for it.
Because there's no air in the bag of holding, and so much of taste is reliant on smell, you couldn't smell the food, so it would probably be like dulled flavor, if anything, right?
I mean, there is air in a bag of holding. Like, you can survive for, like, I think upwards of 10 minutes, I think, in a bag of holding before you run out of air. Because you can, like, just opening it, like, sucks in a lot of air if there isn't air in there already.
Gotcha.
So, like, at least from my previous interpretations of bags of holding in other systems, I don't know if 5th edition's different somehow. But, like, yeah, usually you can throw somebody in a bag of holding and they can chill there for a little bit, a couple minutes, with some air in there, before they, start to have real serious problems like dying. But yeah, that's at least previous memory. Yeah. So you could just chuck Wrench in a bag of holding, and then just put the bag of holding over somebody's head, and then that it's just like a disembodied head floating in a void of space, and Wrench can go ham.
It's almost like the bag of devouring, where if you reach in and you have to make a check, Wrench just pulls you in.
Yep.
Avi, deploy the raccoon sack.
Raccoon!
Activate.
He's flying.
The Saccoon.
Racist. Awful.
Operation Saccoon is a go.
I miss Alejandro. He wasn't at our last game.
Yeah.
He really just fits in with the group great.
That's
a good boy.
Fair. He's a good time. Speaking of, dear Fluximus Maximus, why does Flux think Wrench is the best member of the party?
He's just really excited to have another like gearhead around. It's like, oh my god, you understand how like fucking like machines work and stuff. Okay, I want to like brainstorm stuff with you.
That's fair.
Yeah, 'cause, like probably the last time he would have been around people like that was like when he left High Wave.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to be able to collaborate with people in one way or another. Don't have exactly the same skill set as it turns out, but there's some stuff that he can take notes on. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good time.
Yeah.
Additional Flux question, speaking of inventions. Dear Flux, so we saw your genius invention of the tinfoil hat. Did you have any other designs or inventions that you had but didn't write down in your notes during your time as Crazy Flux?
I think he probably went through a few iterations of what he thought would help, relieve everyone else's craziness. So like, perhaps I could concoct some sort of like an elixir, perhaps just mix like some mercury in there, really clear things out. Yes.
Yes, the mercury will help.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Always does.
Like, yeah. Wonder, perhaps some sort of like larger device, like hook them up to like a chair and run like a bunch of electricity through them or something. That would do it. That would really, make things clear.
Yes, this will work in a beneficial way for everyone.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
For sure.
Make them see things as they truly are.
Yes. Next question I have for Flux, speaking of spells and such. Dear Flux, now that you've seen Miriam cast Resurrection, you can cast it once a week without components. Do you think you could just start a business of resurrecting people? Additionally, why haven't you used any of the spells the Talons have access to? Is it something you aren't willing to do, or can you just not do it mechanically?
Question. I think it might just be a matter of like it's been a while since we fought the Talons, and I may have just forgotten that I saw some of those spells.
Fair.
But a lot of it is that like because I can only use it once a week, and a week in D&D time could be months. I'm really hesitant to use it unless it's like, okay, we're gonna die if I don't do something right now.
Mm-hmm. That is totally fair.
Yeah. Like I could use like Storm Sphere or something, because I've seen people use that, but it's like, is that the best use of this like once a week thing? Like other people can do damage.
Plus this plane isn't really super great at defining days and nights and time, as far as I understand.
Yeah, there's been a lot of like, Logan, how many days has it been? Has it been a week yet? Oh my god.
It's tough.
The days just go on forever.
Yeah.
I'll spare you guys my laments.
Oh, right. But yeah, they're asking about resurrection. I guess mechanically, maybe? I'm not sure if Flux would run a business doing that, or if that would like somehow piss off the powers that be.
Yeah, because I mean, you could sell it for like what the material components are plus spellcasting fees, and then like that's just all pocket money. but like that's also, directly manipulating the powers of a presumably dead god to like get a quick buck. And yeah, maybe they're not about that.
Like it's I know Mistra is like dead, and it's like just like the vestiges of her powers. So I'm not sure what kind of like decision-making power she still has at this point. She doesn't really talk to me or anything. So, yeah, I think it would probably just be entirely based on how much it pisses off Logan.
That's fair. That's entirely fair. Speaking of resurrections, though,
Oh boy.
next question I have is for Fenris.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Fenny Foo-Foo. That Nemrick resurrection, huh? Quite a speech you gave. Has our resident Hellboy's death made you rethink anything? Where do you think this fondness for one of your main antagonist underlings comes from? I have no context for this question, by the way, so...
Oh gosh. Well, okay, so for context, Nemrick, Cody's new character,
Yes.
and Fenris have a kind of brother-sister rapport.
Mm-hmm.
They bicker a lot, and she kind of will flick him in the ear or, push him a little bit to knock him out of his constant sass.
Mm-hmm.
And in our last conflict with the table, Nemrick got turned to fucking ash. He got murderfied. And...
Oh, just a little bit.
Yeah, he got burnt toast. And Miriam used his Fierna resurrection to bring him back, which threw me for a freaking loop. And I had to give a speech, like we were trying to resurrect him, and each person who opted gave a speech, and Fenris's speech was like, kind of consider you a sibling, please come back. Which were things that I, as Bread, had arrived to, like, Fenris feels this way, but had no intentions of saying.
Mm-hmm.
But like with how Honokuni has stripped away some of the walls she has and put up different walls, she had that moment of weakness after he died. It was kind of like a break in the dams, and so she said some pretty intense things. As for the fondness, Fenris doesn't really have anyone that she considers a sibling. Like, Lexi has always been like her best friend, nothing else sibling-like. And so for Nemrick start calling her like big sis, in Elvish, and kind of teasing her for her age. And because he also looks like her when he has his wings gone, she kind of was like, you are my sibling now. Here are the expectations and what you have to learn to do that. And do I know this is a bad idea? Yes. But it'll be fine. I'm gonna bully Cody into betraying Fierna.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll definitely happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe in you.
Got this.
Got this. Anyway, dear Flux, some of your friends have expressed a clear dislike for Nemrick, who is in fact aligned with an adversary of the party. How does our favorite robot boy feel about this not-so-secret spy hanging around?
Honestly, he likes him well enough. Like, he treats him with a certain amount of caution because obviously, who he works for. But he understands that, like, logically, from what we understand, it's in his best interest to help us out, and he's being very friendly about it for the time being. So, like, as long as we have to work with him, there's no reason to be hostile.
Fair.
And honestly, he's just very pleasant. He's hard not to like.
He's so charismatic.
Yeah. I think
Cody.
Flux definitely likes having him around.
Nemrick is just a specific brand of Cody, which is like always all the way up in your shit all the time, but very charming about it. Like, he is so nosy as Nemrick and very whiny, but you can't help but love him.
Yeah. And Izzy
very annoying.
Izzy just really like the fact that Nemrick likes Crazy Flux specifically.
So long, Crazy Flux.
That's so fun.
It's a good time. I enjoyed that boy. He's very fun to be around.
Yeah. I have a question here that might be somewhat physically impossible, depending on how the spell works, but I'll still ask the question anyway, because I think it might be fun. Dear Flux, have you ever thought of having Flint reincarnate you so you can get a flesh and blood body? If so, is there any particular race you'd be interested in becoming?
Interesting.
Huh.
I don't necessarily know that constructs can be resurrected through traditional means, but just for the sake of the question, assume they could.
I mean, at the very least, like, Flux has died and been resurrected with Revivify.
Okay, that's
So,
something.
Yeah, so I
Are
think...
Warforged constructs? We've had this discussion so many times. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
Yeah, for the sake of, like, mechanics and stuff, yeah, they're just humanoids. They're not treated as constructs. They just...
They are
look
not
like
constructs.
They
There
walk
we
like
go.
Constructs, but they're not constructs.
I had a Logan in my brain. Just I could hear him so clearly being like, they're not constructs, because we've had this discussion so many times. Thank you, back of brain Logan.
Yeah, so yeah, he's totally been resurrected normally. That's no big deal there. But yeah, that'd be interesting. I don't know that he would ask for that sort of thing. Like, he definitely finds, or, you know, like, other non-Warforged beings, like, fascinating, since, like, they experience life quite a bit differently than him in a lot of ways. But I don't know that he, like, I don't think that he hates being a Warforged.
That's fair.
Yeah, but, like, for the sake of argument, like, if Flux were, like, gunned to his head, like, you gotta reincarnate as some other race, like, what would it be? What would...
That or, like, you know,
Make him a gnome. Make him a gnome.
That or he's already dead, and this is the only resurrection spell on hand that can bring him back.
Yeah. You know what? I would love to see Gnome Flux. That sounds so cute.
Go from tall to short. Go from tall to short.
Wield the same wrench.
It's like some weird version of the spell where, like, all of my old matter is used to make the new body, so I'm exactly as fucking heavy as I once was. Like,
Give a short
4 foot tall,
chunk.
300-pound gnome.
Cursed.
A hyper-dense super gnome.
The only people who
Neutron
can pick him
star.
up are Fenris and fucking Vogan.
Flux want uppies.
I cast my
no.
highest level spell, Grabby Hands.
I just imagine him casting Fly and it being Hover because he's so fucking heavy. I know that doesn't make sense.
Oh.
But just...
The boots can't lift him, just barely.
They're working so hard and he is just clearing an inch off the ground.
Saluting the boots.
Yes.
Doing good work, brave soldier.
Next question I have is for Fenris. Dear Fenris, Tag says they taught you how to make stew, but is there a Celebron family recipe? Is there any difference to these stews? What makes the stew Celebron?
Well, Tag didn't teach Fenris how to make stew. I don't know if I'm interpreting the question wrong, or if Fenris's parents taught her how to make the stew, specifically her mom. There isn't a recipe, it's more of the methodology and specific ingredients that make a Celebron stew a Celebron stew. They're kind of more your...
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Ruh-roh.
Oh, Brad, you died again.
Brad, come back.
I'm back.
Tell me about the Celebron stew.
I'm back. Where was I when I cut out?
It's the methodology.
The methodology. It's more of like a garbage can stew situation. I don't know if that was caught. Where you can use a lot of different things, like you can switch things out, but the destination will be the same.
Okay.
Like they put like the garlic and they roast it before you start cooking everything. Just specific stuff that
fair.
Kind of the prep.
That's fair.
And all the love that goes into it. A Celebron stew is a hearty stew that makes you feel warm inside. That's pretty much you've got one if you've got that.
Nice. That sounds like a good time. Speaking of Tag, who did not teach you how to make stew. Dear Fenris and Flux, how fun was it to put all your Crystal Queen cards on the table in front of Tag and listen to him react?
Just telling him all the shit that's been going on with the Crystal Queen. Yeah, when you say it out loud, just all at once, it's been kind of an insane time.
It really has.
Yeah. With what we've been learning about the Crystal Queen, by the way, hey, Chase, the Crystal Queen's an Idolos. BT dubs, bestie.
Oh.
Yeah, learning some new stuff about her even here.
The more I find out about the Crystal Queen, the more I understand when Logan was like, you guys weren't supposed to go there. For the sense of like, it was a much later place for us to go. Which is kind of great. I wasn't really the one revealing a lot. It was everyone airing Fenris's dirty laundry yet again. But at the same time, just because of some stuff that me and Spencer established about Fenris and Tag's relationship, she wasn't really that embarrassed by it. It was just like, he knew her at a much younger age. He knows. It's fine.
That's fair. So he's mostly, it's still got some hope that there's some old Crystal Queen in with the new remaster.
Me think so. I think he's still confident about that. I think he's more questioning if he found the right people to help her. Because it seems like all we know how to do is piss her off.
A little bit. Yeah. Not exactly on her good side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all goes back to Miriam punching above his weight class, which...
Yeah.
So good.
When doesn't he?
So many delightful problems.
We have so many wonderful characters in the cast that want to kill us, mainly because of Miriam Lucius. Please see the Crystal Queen, Fierna.
Good job, Miriam.
I think that's it so far. Or
That's
you use a Quintus Agravain for like 2 seconds. Jazz hands.
Additional both of you question. Dear Fenris and Flux, putting aside the hunt, has there been anything you've seen to be endearing about Honokuni that might convince you to give staying there some thought?
God, no.
Yeah,
Not a single thing yet.
No, absolutely not. No.
Hell no.
No in Italian.
Okay.
Just absolutely not. You could not pay. I don't know if Izzy feels the same way, but you can't pay us enough to stay in Honokuni. I mean...
Yeah, no, I get you.
Like if it was to save people's lives, yes, but Honokuni is not a place to stay.
Yeah, no. As like an enticing vacation destination, it doesn't really have a lot of upsides.
Maybe you guys are just on a weird side of town.
I don't know. The Yelp reviews for it aren't the best. There's a review from oh no, I've forgotten his name now. Who the construct that was chasing you, Izzy?
Oh, fucking Legion.
Legion, there's a Yelp review from Legion, wouldn't come back. So I think we're gonna pass.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I was getting all up in the concierge's face, and then he summoned like a giant squid demon or some nonsense and just yanked me into the depths below, and just I haven't been the same since.
5 stars.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like aside from it just being like there's nothing enticing about this place, and also the longer we stay here, the closer Diane could be to getting a world-ending robot.
True, but that's the least of our problems right now, and that says a lot.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on.
Yeah, you guys got a lot going on. You're a bit busy. Yeah. So, speaking of, dear Flux, you were just on the brink of returning to your home? To the Cauldron, anyway. What were you hoping to find there, other than the god-killing mech suit?
Honestly, just like answers. Like he knows, like we were saying, he's only been conscious for like the last 7 years or so. He was alive for perhaps thousands of years, even like before he went into the ground. Like it's hard to say for sure, but like from the vision he got, like he was up to some shit. He was a mover and a shaker. Like he was a completely different person, and he really wants to know like what that person was like what did he believe in, what were his goals, like if he got those memories back, would he just instantly change back into that person? Was that person awful? Was that person like just so indebted to Copetter that he would like do atrocities in his name or something? Like there's just so many open questions about who he was that he really just wants to know, and just to know what that says about who he is now.
That's fair. I personally am looking forward to old Flux versus new Flux cage match fight.
Hell yes.
Who did it better?
Okay, god-killing mech suit. Who wore it better? Next question I have is for Fenris. There seems to be some tension between you and Aviana. Is it just the accusing you of being crazy thing, or is there more going on?
Luckily the conflict has kind of subsided a decent amount.
Okay.
But there was the accusing, which Fenris didn't mind, because it's totally understandable to question what's going on with Fenris. It was like Aviana's kind of talks under her breath, makes comments, and kind of picks away at things, and Fenris in Honokuni does not have the patience for it.
Fair.
And so there was a lot of tension towards that, and questioning Fenris, compromising her position in the group, and Fenris's fear that she's not able to live up to the place that she has in the group currently has been causing a lot of different ways of venting that, and Aviana ended up being one of those casualties in that, where Fenris finally kind of stood up for herself in a way.
That's fair. At least Aviana is very famous for her forgiving nature over matters like this.
You know, I don't think that they've like completely reconciled, but they've put their differences aside, and I think Aviana kind of sees more what Fenris was trying to do, because the conflict came to its climax with Fenris kind of asking the group as a whole, what are we doing? Because she wanted to hopefully get everyone to make a decision, and then from there ask Aviana like, okay, we've all made our decision, no more comments needed. And it turned out to be a thing that resulted in isolating Aviana, which was never the intention, to make her feel like she was outside of the group. It was to get the group to either agree or disagree with Aviana and make a decision in the end.
That's fair. That's fair.
It was very fun. Me and
maybe
Hayden
when
had a
things
great
aren't
time.
maybe when things aren't so on fire, you guys could have a more reasonable discussion about things.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't think Fenris would ever be completely honest with some of the conflicts that she has with Avi, because I think they're just things that Fenris needs to get over. and would not help teach Aviana anything. Just piss her off.
But her famously forgiving nature would.
Oh,
make
yes.
So that'd be fine.
You're right. I should be completely transparent. I won't get stabbed at all.
Aviana is nothing if not approachable and loving. So kind.
Uh-huh. I mean, Hanzo and her got along.
Yeah, that's true. I still think that's really funny. Everybody has like all these stories of like Aviana's just very off-putting and very hard to get along with, and it's just like we just fucking vibed immediately. It's fine.
The thing is, Aviana and Fenris have never not gotten along. It was a little awkward for a minute because they're both very awkward people.
Right.
But this was the only time that they really had like a disagreement or like a conflict. So it was cool to do that.
Yeah, it is cool. It's cool. It is really fun when you get to roleplay conflict between characters every so often.
Yes.
When it's the right setting, the right stuff.
And like Hayden and I, during that whole section, always checked in with each other. Like we would be typing just after an intense moment. Hey, are you good? Okay, cool. Game on. We always checked in with each other, and so we both knew where the other person was without. There was no like game plan. Like it could go anywhere, but it was both like this is in character. Obviously we're like best friends, so this is all just in the moment improv.
Yeah.
And it made it a lot easier to feel comfortable going to that place and having it be a safe environment, because if anyone felt uncomfortable, we were all very open and talking about how we feel. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really important to be able to have that open communication about stuff. Like I've heard too many like, stories of people just kind of not talking about things between like heavy moments and then like those kind of spiraling in a bad way. So I'm glad you guys are able to keep those open channels, make sure that all the role plays, forwarding a story and everybody's having fun with it. It's a good time.
Yeah, everyone works really hard so that we can do that.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yes. Next question I have is for Flux. Dear Flux!
Huh.
What do you think is the neatest thing you can do, and why is it the rod?
I mean, it's just a marvel of efficiency, really. Like, I can take any spell I know of first or second level that can normally be performed as an action, and then make it so that anyone holding this random device can cast that 12 times a day for free.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just insane. That's 12 cure wounds on top of all the other cure wounds we could already cast on each other.
Artificers, man.
Yeah.
Like,
that's pretty crazy. I'm not gonna
occasionally
lie.
they're spread pretty thin mechanically, but oh my god, that is a definite strong point for artificers.
Yeah, that's honestly that's insane. I didn't know that you had an item that can do that, and that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I think I'd have to reread the spell, but I think I could use that to cast Continual Flame for free, and just like,
oh my god,
I could just sell lanterns that never go out.
Stop it.
I mean, I won't do that. Just know that I'm exerting willpower to not do that.
Awful.
Thankfully, yeah, Flux would have no reason to do shenanigans like that. He just wants to help people and not be a troll.
That's fair. I think it would be fun to just like do some landscaping equivalent with that and just like, light a bunch of torches along like a pathway just to do it. Just like, hey, there's a permanent flame.
Yeah.
Just like do some landscaping.
Like if we ever get back to the castle, we'll probably use that to just like, light up, just give us some permanent lighting.
Yeah, let's pimp out the guild cave, the hall, dog.
Some like sick like silver flames just decorating the place.
Heck yeah, and then never be able to turn them off. It's a great time. I'm about it. Here for it. Oh. Next question I have is also for Flux. Dear definitely not crazy Flux, what's your current assessment of the situation in Honokuni? Worried for your friends, perhaps? What horrible things do you think Samurai and Hirohito might do to you should that scroll work? And also, for me, what is that scroll?
Yeah, that's the scroll that would what was it? That would release the dead souls from Honokuni.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Wasn't sure.
Yeah, that's
Could have been any scroll.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Yeah, definitely looking to get out of here as quickly as possible. He doesn't like what it's doing to everyone. Like, it's putting everyone on edge. Like, we have no idea whether we're crazy or not. We're like worried about our loved ones, especially since we have no idea if we've like been just launched hundreds of years into the future or something, because time seems kind of weirdly fluid here based on when other people are entering Honokuni. So we have no idea if we'll pop out in the same time period as we came in.
We're hoping.
Yeah. Really hoping we don't come back to everyone we know and love being, dead for centuries.
Yeah, that's good to check up on, and it's good that it'd be nice if that doesn't happen. You never really want that.
Yeah, and also just personally, if time is moving forward normally, then he's very worried about how much progress Diane is making to get into the cauldron and to get to the Sword of Damocles. Because that could be some apocalypse stuff.
Yeah, that might be hard to take down if that's coming against you. You don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, I think he also just feels bad because there is so much drama going on because of how on edge everyone is, but he doesn't really have the emotional intelligence or experience to really help them solve that. So at best he can kind of give general platitudes like he was trying with Fenris of now might be a time to tell people about your problems instead of bottling them up. We can handle things better as a group than alone.
No. This goes in a bottle and it stays here till I die.
Okay, even I can tell that sounds really unhealthy.
It's fine. I have a jar collection. It's fine.
Do not do that, please.
You're right. I won't. I haven't. Good talk.
I did it. I helped.
I cured Fenris.
Just whenever you're gonna do something that's not emotionally healthy, don't do that thing.
Problem solved.
I'm an excellent therapist.
Why does this stuff require a degree?
Right?
I'll just brain blast it every time. It's good.
Yeah.
It's super easy.
The next and final question that I have is for him.
What? He?
Oh, it's for him.
Him?
You know him? Mistress Vassal with Silver Flames, as well as the party's biggest brains. A fantastic temp HP provider, and when you're hurt, he'll share his spiders. The robot boy that brings us joy, who made a healing fantasy toy, Flux.
Yes!
I get a Crazy Miriam intro, yay!
Crazy Miriam intro.
Hell yeah! Thank you for this.
About damn time.
The question specifically is, ability score upgrades are coming up soon. Are you planning to bump your intelligence score again, you gross bitch, or are you going to buff other stuff? Any other stats? Gonna get a feat? What you gonna do?
Sadly, I must mechanically cap myself at a mere 22 intelligence. The game will not let me go any further. I think that's bullshit, but whatever.
Just keep going, Galaxy Brain that shit.
God damn, it's insane. But yeah, what have I been putting into lately? I put a little into con to try and get my health up, just because I do tend to spend a lot of time near the front lines to try and heal people when they go down, like the frontliners like Tag and Fenris and stuff. So that's been good. And just kind of generally when I don't have anything else really pressing to put it into, I'll put it into like wisdom or something. If I think Flux has started to grow a little bit, I think I put a point into wisdom last time, so that he's finally up to. I think he's up to just 10 wisdom now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's finally up to just a baseline of wisdom.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
After years of growth, he's finally as wise as the average person.
He did it. He's come so far.
He's come so far.
And then watch him die, get resurrected, and then he'll drop by 2 points again.
Yep. It do be like that sometimes.
Yeah. It'll happen.
Yeah. And with that, we will move on to the game with the lowest stakes ever conceived, because I will tell you which of your fellow players on Nat19 submitted the questions today.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna just tell you.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna just tell you.
Oh.
Y'all just get to know it. The lowest stakes ever
goodness.
conceived. Yeah.
I'm so unused to
game?
this.
Do you want the game?
I mean,
I don't know. I'm
I
just
don't know.
used to the psychological abuse of trying to guess who said what.
Well, there are 9 questions submitted by your fellow players.
Oh my god!
Holy crap.
Very active session today. Everyone wanted to know a lot of stuff.
Wow.
God damn, I hope we came through for them. Shit.
So would you like to attempt to play the game with the highest stakes ever conceived, or would you like a ticket?
You can tell us.
Okay. All right. Very
Sure.
well. The first question, submitted by one of your fellow players, was, Dear Fenris, there seems to be some tension between you and Aviana. Is it just the accusing you of being crazy thing, or is there more going on? This question was submitted by Carrie.
Ooh. I figured.
Next question. Dear Flux, what do you think is the neatest thing you can do, and why is it the rod? Was submitted also by Carrie.
How correct.
Yeah.
Way to go, Carrie.
After that, we have, Dear Flux, you're getting affected by a lot of madness. Do you think there will be any complications after you leave this place? Any wires crossed? That was submitted by Cody.
Ah, nice.
Ooh, good question.
Hell yeah.
And other Cody question was, Dear Fenris, do you think that when you save the monk, you'll be able to taste again, or is that too much to hope for in this place?
That tracks. He does
Yeah.
have a vested interest in that.
Can definitely see the Cody in these questions.
Yes, quite. From there, we have, Dear Flux, you go cuckoo a whole lot, dice rolls aside. Do you think Flux just has some intergalactic madness susceptibility? Submitted by Erin.
Aww.
Erin.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Erin.
yeah, he definitely does.
Yeah, he's great old one bait.
Oh my god, that would be so bad.
Jeez. 2 warlocks in a row, for shame.
You'd be such a bad warlock. He has negative charisma.
Yeah. But it'd be fun.
Hell yeah, it would.
Yeah.
I swing at you for -2. Let's go. From
God.
there, we have Dear Fenris. Tag says they taught you how to make stew, but is there a Salberon family recipe? And is there any difference to the stews? And what makes the stew a Salberoni? Yeah, Salberoni. I got it right the second time. I said Salberon the first time. I don't know why I did that. That question was submitted by Aaron.
I
Hmm.
see.
Yes. From there, Dear Definitely Not Crazy Flux, what is your current assessment of the situation, Honokuni? Worried for your friend, perhaps? What horrible things do you think Samurai and Hirohito might do to you should that scroll work? Was submitted by Hayden.
Nice.
Yay. Second to last, Dear Fenny Fenny Bobeni, so, turns chair like Captain America. You've tried to contact your gods, however, all you got back was cryptic nonsense about how you're sane, something, from something you weren't sure was actually your god. Do you believe that you're sane, etc.? Was also from Hayden.
I knew it. Did they include the turns in chair like
Yes.
Captain America? Oh,
Absolutely yes,
okay.
and I left it in.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Of course.
What a
And
gift.
lastly, and definitely most importantly, there is Dear Fluximus Maximus. Why does Flux think Wrench is the best member of the party? Submitted by Alejandro.
Yeah!
Uh,
He knows how to chat 19!
hell yeah.
I'm Yes.
Good to have you here, boy.
Oh, what a good time.
What a correct assessment of the situation you've made.
And with that, we come to a close on Chat19. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Thanks everybody in the call for coming here and answering questions. I
Of
appreciate
course,
it.
happy to be here.
Yeah.
It's a good heckin' time. Thank you, our wonderful listeners and viewers. Thank you so much for being here for the whole thing. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Mwah.
Yeah. Comments too.
Yeah, comment stew just to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's this video's first.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Geek stew.
Keep stew. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions that you want to submit, you can check in this video's description or on our Twitch page on Nat19. Our next episode is gonna have Aaron, and it's gonna have Cody. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's a very silly name in the @ on
Yes,
this
that's
server.
Cody.
Very silly name. So submit your questions for heckin' Miriam and Nemrick. I'm pretty sure Nemrick's still kicking around. Despite much protesting. So go ahead and check that out. Go submit them questions for them. We'll read them next time. It'll be a real good time. Heck yeah. So for everybody in the call, where can people find you? What do you want to plug? Braden.
So you can follow me at hold on. Ooh, I have 2 Twitters, so I'm gonna give them both.
Okay.
I have 2 Twitters now. I'm multitasking. And no more than 2, just 2. At a crummy VA, which is my Bread Redderson account. And then if you want to follow me for voiceover work, it's at the B_Alexander. That's the new thing. Please follow me on there.
Let's make at the B_Alexander also internet famous.
Yes. Sounds good.
Yes. And Da Is Boy, where can people find you? What do you want to plug?
Ooh, couple places. Can look up Something Witty Entertainment on YouTube. Find us there. Do Something Witty Gaming on Twitch. And yeah, if you want to find us on Twitter, can find me at YamatoSFX or the Something Witty crew at Something Witty E.
Wait.
Wanted to make it just Something Witty, but unfortunately, yeah. It's very unsatisfying. It haunts me to this day.
It really do be like that.
Yeah.
Lastly, I'm Chase, also known as Coffin Jockey. You can find me on Twitter at Coffin Jockey. You can find me on YouTube, on the Schmuck Squad YouTube. I'm on the Grimjack YouTube. I'm on the Abridgelance YouTube. I'm also sometimes on the Something Witty YouTube. I'm on Something Witty Gaming. Go check out all that stuff. And heckin', I'm also, as always, out back behind the Denny's. You know the one. I'm ready to fisticuffs. Adamantine.
Yeah.
Y'all know the one. The real fans know the Denny's. And with that, we'll bring it to a close for this lovely episode of Chat19. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Goodbye, everybody.